art. We're here in Chinatown Soup, an arts studio. I'm here with Art Jones, digital media artist, and he's going to tell me a bit about his process-based installation that's currently on exhibit here.
Well, it started on January 1st, 2018, after many months, actually a couple of years of collecting media reports of shootings of unarmed civilians in the United States. And after viewing so many media reports, I realized that there was a cumulative effect that these things were having on me, which was producing this level of depression, which I don't think is unexpected, but also becoming numb to the reality of the individual particularity of these things, because they were happening so often. And I began to think that reporting on these things was not adequate at all to the monumental horror of what was going on, but also the fact that this, to me, illustrated a very normal aspect of American culture. That these weren't aberrations that would happen, so many times a year. I was thinking the equivalent would be if the land shifted on us, like if there was an earthquake several times a year in any place, and how strange that would be, and how that would be notable, that wouldn't be an aberration. I would say, we'd have to say there's something fundamentally wrong with the landmass that we're living on. And that that's what I was understanding from all these reports. But the reports were inadequate to talk about it. So thinking about, initially as a response to that, I thought maybe it's time to make a film about this. And I realized there was no documentary that I could possibly make to convince people that killing unarmed civilians by law enforcement officers was a bad thing. And I didn't want to be just another voice in that media wilderness. So I came up with a method in which I could only deal with the facts of each one of these incidents, which is the name of the person that died, based on Google Maps data, the longitude and latitude locations, near as I could figure it out, of where that person died, and the location in terms of region where they died. And then once I had that data, I had to figure out what to do with it, and I thought making a sculpture based on that digital data would be something to try, to see if making a physical object that someone could look at, look around, touch maybe, but that existed in our world would be maybe a way to test empathy, a way to see if there's a way out of that numbness, and out of that expectation of this horror, and see if that after presenting this information as factual data, if there's a way in which the particularity of each human being and their life and what that meant to loved ones and friends, etc., might come through. So that was where the project.
Can you show us what's a little bit about what's behind you? These topographical maps and data. Do you want to point out if you?
Well, what's on the bench here are the pieces from 2018. So this was the first series, and they're made on a 3D printer. And when I look at them now, I see that a code emerges. Sometimes I was able to get very close to, usually within 1 square meter, to where the incident happened. And you can see it almost gets you to the pixel level. This is how close we could get on Google Maps. And then sometimes the person died at a location that was much more ambiguous, maybe en route to the hospital. And then these look much more like land masses, I think, because I had to cast a wider net to approximate the place of death. So they start to speak this language, this vocabulary, I guess, of the details of the death of each person. And then they're painted with metallic pigment, taking acrylic medium and metallic powder. That's approximately the same composition of the bullets for a Glock 9mm, which is a very common firearm issued to law enforcement officers today. Then after that, I left them out in the weather to rust, since essentially they're painted with metal, and then covered in resin to freeze everything in that level. With the 2019 series that are on the wall, it was more about thinking about this idea of the sameness of these stories, the way that they're reported, and thinking if I really wanted to adjust my methods so that they were more uniform in terms of height, length, and width, and seeing how the particularity of the land that these people died on, whether it's their grandmother's backyard, or a stoop at a brownstone, or on the highway, or in some rural area, to see if the particularity of the land would somehow evoke the particularity maybe of the individuals that were killed. So that's what this series is about. And then the most recent piece, which is still in process, is Breonna Taylor. And it's very different because now I think this feels much more like a mountain or some kind of structure rising out of the ground. Because Breonna Taylor, the people that killed her, the officers, haven't even been charged. This is one of the few cases where, I mean, in several of these cases, officers have been acquitted, but in this case, the system has absolutely broken down, or you could argue the system has done in an extreme way what it's designed to do, which is present no accountability for the people that we entrust our lives to. So what's going to happen to complete this piece is people that I've 3D scanned will be presented in miniature, much smaller than this scale, and will kind of complete a diorama and surround this object. Because we move on, or we tell ourselves we move on, even though I don't think as a nation, or maybe as individuals, we recover from the trauma of hearing these stories, seeing these stories. But we pretend that it doesn't affect us. So I just want this object to rise and yet sometimes be unnoticed, you know. So that's what's going to happen in this area. And then that pretty much completes the installation. There's been another aspect, which is the social space aspect that I've also been interested in.
Okay, we're going to stop here.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Art, and we're going to talk about the social space
Okay,
in just
great.
a second.